Hey guys, we're back in the shop today and we have a 38-inch Vizio flat screen TV. Let's see what's inside. Alright, and before we get started, remember we found this TV out in the wild. I don't know what's been going on with it. So again, safety glasses, gloves, you never know, protect your hands. A drill comes in handy, but if you ain't got one, couple screwdrivers, they'll do the job just right. And a pair of nippers. Take care of those wires in there. They're always on the speakers. They come hanging out, and yeah. So a little pair of nippers. That's all you need to get this job done. Then you know what? By the end of it, I hope we have some food to feed to that stock pot over there. That's right. Yeah. So let's crack into this sucker and go. All right, so here we are. We got the TV on its back, and yeah, you're gonna find screws everywhere. And so, yeah, I know I need a longer bit for it, and you know what? Maybe I'll come do those by hand, and that's all right. But all around the edge, you're gonna find screws everywhere. So your power drill is gonna be your best friend in this case. But again, if you don't got one, just go ahead and use what you got. That's part of scrapping, you know. If you ain't got it, you can either make it or you can find it. So yeah, I'm just going to run around here and take all the screws out and get the back off of there and see what we can get into there. I'm sure there's going to be a couple low-grade boards, maybe a little gold flashing in there. Yeah, maybe a little copper will be in there. I'm sure there'll be a little copper. That other video that we did where we had the newer style TV sure didn't have much in it. It really didn't have a whole lot of nothing in it. And so I was a little surprised about what was actually in there. But that's all right. You never know with electronics. Usually you get what you pay for. If it's more expensive, you find better boards and stuff, or at least a chance of finding a better board is there. Not always, you know, but you never know. You just don't know until you crack into it, and that's the thing about scrapping is you don't know what's inside of it until you open it up or you get a chance to watch a video about a particular TV. And yeah, there's videos out there about every TV you can imagine and how to get into it and how to safely get the stuff out of it. And yeah, they exist. So if this one isn't for you, look at the other ones I have. And if you can't find what TV you're looking for in there, I'm sure there's more than enough videos out there that will help you. But I'm going to get the last screws out of this, and we're going to take this back off, and we'll go from there. Just remember, if you're having trouble getting the back off of there for some reason, chances are there's a hidden screw, and they always like to hide them back in here too. So, you know, take your time, look around, and these cable ports. I know I talk about them and you can't really see it, but these cable ports here, usually they'll have a nut on the back side of that guy. This doesn't look like it actually has one, but you never know. It may not even bother us. It looks like it's cut out right on the bottom right there. But yeah, so just look for hidden screws if you're having problems getting that back off. We're going to get that off and we'll be right back. All right, so I think we got all the screws out. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's always a lot of screws. And if you haven't watched my other videos, everybody asks what I do. I save my screws up. I put them down here. Sometimes you never know if you need them. And it's got all sorts of stuff inside of it. You know what? That ends up inside of a microwave or something like that. And it goes to the steel yard. Some people come and pick up my steel and trade me for computers, which is just fine because that's not what they're into and it works for me. Other times I just bring it in, or I have enough room to stack it up. But that's what I do with all my screws, because why are you going to throw them away when you can get 6 cents a pound, depending on where you live. I'm not sure for you guys outside of the United States. But yeah, so I save up all my screws, and we got this all taken care of. Let's see if we can't get it off of here one-handed. I know everybody's like, yeah, you know, you should get a gimbal, and I made a stand there. I don't know if I like it, because I mean I can do a little bit one-handed, and at least you guys can see more of what's going on inside of there, as long as I pay attention to where my shot is. Alright, so we got that unfolded there. Sorry about the finger. Got that unfolded. There's a little low-grade board right here for the power button, and we'll get that guy out here in a second. Maybe I get him out now. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Alright. So we'll look more into him in a minute. So what do you got in the back? Well, you start off with the power board. Well, it's a power board. Why? Well, first off, it's a power board because it has the power plug-in. Secondly, it's usually a low-grade brown board. You can also tell because it has the capacitors on it. These guys are the capacitors. Those guys say 220 volts a piece, so that's 440 volts. Yeah, they'll jump up and bite you if you plug this in and it doesn't work and you start hacking away at it. You're gonna get zapped by these guys, so don't do that. I leave them in the corner of my shop for a while and just let them sit there. They'll dissipate themselves. And if you still feel like you need to take care of business and get those out of here, which I do, I never even leave them on my board because I don't trust them. You can take a pair of rubber handled pliers, clippers, whatever, and touch the 2 prongs, and I give them a snip. And if they did have a charge, yeah, you'd hear some words, there'd be a zap, but they would dissipate as long as you're not touching the board or anything on it. You're just touching the clippers. So now these guys are out of the equation. They're gone. They don't have a charge to them. They're off the board, out of my life. In fact, I keep a pair of little channel locks right here just for this case. I give them a little twist. I get them out of my life. I know they're not charged. And then for me, they go into my aluminum cans storage. Yeah, stainless. I know, brass. I know. So yeah, that's what I do with the capacitors so you don't get electrocuted. You don't have to listen to me, but don't come to me when it happens. After that, that's the power board. So we got some MOSFETs. Usually you can tell they're attached to aluminum heat sink because they get warm. So that's extruded aluminum, so that's cool. And you got some copper here, so that's nice. And I think these are just film capacitors or resistors. I'm not sure, but I know if you would turn them over and they have a little, like an epoxy inside of them, chances are they're nothing. See how that has that filled epoxy inside of it? There we go. There's nothing but a Mylar film inside there, and I'm not sure what else is in there, but I don't bother with those. I just don't. That's the one thing I don't bother with. However, these guys here sometimes contain silver, and these guys here, same deal. Sometimes they're tantalum. These guys are not, unfortunately, but sometimes they are. This guy may have some silver in it. These guys sometimes actually can have some gold in them. Rarely, but they do. And these control where the power goes from one side of the board to the other. And so I know they have a little bit of gold in them potentially. These guys are transformers. They have copper inside of them. They're a bugger to get into. I know people just throw them in their electric motors. You do what you want to do. And then you got started with the low grade wire. And let's see if we get that off of here quick. So they just unplugged usually here. And then your board comes off, you know, with your screws. Usually only have a couple on there, but a lot of people don't know this, but spiders aren't scrappable. Just in case, you know, for all you people out there wondering, no, I'm not scrapping that spider. Yeah, let's see, there's a few more screws than normal on here, but that's alright. Sometimes if the board doesn't come up and off, there may be a screw stuck somewhere in there. Okay, so that's your low grade power board. It's simple. You can micro scrap it for all that stuff, and I will, and I do. And like I say on every one of these videos, I have tons and tons of low grade boards that I'll eventually get to. And I know people are like, no, don't do that. Yeah, you can sell them. You can sell these on different websites and stuff like that, but it doesn't make sense for me to do where I'm at and how much it costs to send. So I don't even bother with that. But I do keep them, and I will depopulate them when I'm sitting in my basement, you know, ScroogeMcDuckn on my gold down there. I'll take some time away from my gold, and I'll pay attention to my copper. I don't leave nothing behind. Everybody can get along. So now we're back to the main board, and this is where all your components and stuff come into, and so that's cool. You got some more low grade wire here, if I can get it out. And these plugins, if where they're getting unplugged from isn't gold, the plugins won't be gold either, from what I've come across. So then you just know right away. You don't have to muck around. You can look at where you unplugged it. and see if it's not gold. It's not gold, so you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes these colorful wires are, especially in computers, but in TVs they're usually not. There's no real need for the connection to be gold plated. Unfortunately for us as scrappers, that's a bummer, but that happens a lot. And they're getting better at figuring out how to put less gold into these boards. So as they get better at figuring out how to get less material into these and make these cheaper, we as scrappers got to get better and more resourceful at what we can get out of it, like steel. There's some more steel. You know, if you're at this point where you're scrapping, you might as well get every penny you can. And again, you can take this plastic comes off, and you peel that off, wackadoo that over there. Yeah, I'll pick that up. Don't slip on that. Yeah, don't fall on that. So yeah, you got to get all the value you can. And that main board is a little booger somewhere. I can't feel it. There it is. So that's the main board. There's going to be some chips underneath it here, and I'll crack that open at the end. There's some extruded aluminum. Let's get in here a little bit for people who like to skip ahead. There's all sorts of goodies on this board. Yeah, you got your extruded aluminum. These don't have any gold in them. There's a cap right there again. So if you're worried about it, make sure you take that. That transistor or MOSFET or something like that, I can't remember, and I know people are really freaking out right now that know the name of that. It's hard when you're on camera to figure it out. But anyways, that's going to have some copper and such and stuff in it. And there's a lot of MLCCs. In fact, some of them almost look like they're almost look gold. And if I'm mistaken, they do look a little gold, don't they? I don't know. But anyways, so they're on the board as well. And yeah, we'll look into this board a little more once we get done here. I'll just put this guy over there. All right, now I've been fooled. I've been fooled on the last few TVs because I always think there's either going to be a board underneath here, and usually I call it a T-com board, which older TVs usually have a board underneath them that will split the signal into each half of the TV. And a lot of the times when you have problems with your screens, that's the board that is causing the problem. I'm not a technician. I've just had the problem happen a couple times. Here's some more steel for your steel pile. So I've had that problem happen a couple times, and I've been able to actually fix the TV a couple times. Kind of proud of myself. That's right, I fixed a few TVs, and only from spare parts I've had laying around the house. But that's part of scrapping. You know, you accumulate stuff, but you got to make sure you don't turn into a hoarder. And that's not saying nothing bad about nobody. That's just saying everybody has their line of what they can and can't keep and what they should and shouldn't, and everybody scraps differently. So with that being said, if people like to keep these speakers, they sure can. I tend not to because it just stacks up my shop. Get out of there, Screw. It stacks up my shop, and I run out of space, and I run out of buckets, and I run out of things. So again, these speakers will just go inside of a microwave in my steel pile. And if you can get away with leaving the plastic on your TV, you go ahead. I unfortunately cannot. If I want to get clean steel for this, then I take the plastic off. Yeah, whoa, hey, look at that. I've never seen that on a TV. Never seen that. That's actually pretty neat. Yeah, unfortunately that plastic isn't recyclable, so that sucks. Yeah, I don't know about that. I've never seen that before on a TV ever. So that's cool. Anyways, yeah, plastic isn't recyclable here for this particular thing. Did I do it backwards? Yes, but that's all right. So you can do what you can do, and you can't really do much more than that. So I'm going to clean this all up, and I'm going to get this to where I can keep it as clean steel in my clean steel pile. And these bodies of these TVs that are steel, actually, they stack up rather nicely. If you're stacking up your steel, I know some people don't, a lot of people don't. They pass by it. Now me, I got a way to get rid of it, so I keep mine. But other people just don't have the time or the room, and that's all right, because everybody does their own. And a lot of people pass that little guy up too. Nobody ever really thinks about that little Wi-Fi card. But I tell you what, as soon as we get a chance to look at him, you'll see it's worth keeping. We'll look at him at the end of the video here, but there's some secrets this guy has, and we'll come back to him. We'll put him right there, and we'll come back at the end of the video, check him out. So I'm going to clean up the wires off of here, and unfortunately I do have to touch. I do have to lift this up, because underneath of here, I know you can see it under there, that's that gold finger strip board. So I'm going to get this peeled up here with 2 hands, and then we'll come right back. All right, we're back. We got that little strip taken off there. I just put it up there. I don't know, some scrappers have a trophy case. I know I do. I'm sure you do as well. I might find something to do with that. That's kind of neat. Yeah, we'll find something to do with it. So we got these finger strip boards. Sometimes they're attached with screws. And I talk in my other video about being attached with gold screws, actually. Gold-plated screws. And some people don't believe me. Some people do. And like I say every time, that's okay. You don't have to believe me. You can bring it over here and I'll put it in my stock pot for free. That's right. I take everything for free. And a lot of people aren't able to do that. A lot of people charge for it. But that's their deal. I do it for free because not only does it provide a little service, people are more incentivized to bring me their stuff. And that's cool, and it works for them. So in order to get these off, if you don't want to go any further in here, which if you look at other videos, and I'm sure if you're watching mine, you've seen them, there's LEDs and stuff inside of here, but for today's purposes, I don't think we're going any further in this TV right now. But if you lift up these boards gently, you can actually get them to peel off, and they'll peel off those little film chips there, and there you go. That's like the little sweet little spot inside of these TVs or these boards here. Let me see if I can get them laid out if they're gonna work with me. And yeah, there's a little bit of gold on them, and we'll take a look at them here in a second. I'm gonna get the wires off of here, get this stacked up on the other side of the massive 90-inch TV we're going to take apart at the end of this series here. So for all you new guys, make sure you check up and make sure you come back and check it out, because yeah, that is a massive TV right there. Along with that guy back there, that giant projection TV back there, that's going to be going as well. So for all you new guys, you know, I gotta say it. You know what I'm gonna say. I know you don't want to hear it, but hit that like, share, and subscribe button, please, because it helps the channel. So with that being said, let me get this cleaned up and let me get the boards laid out and we'll take a look. All right, guys, here's the big reveal. It's a little more than what the newer TVs have, but still not as much as some of the older TVs have. So we have the power board here for you guys that want to zoom in here. All right, so for everybody that skipped ahead, we got copper right here. We got extruded aluminum right there. These MOSFETs are going to be copper inside of that plastic. They sure will be, and if your scrapyard don't take them, find another one, because they certainly will. And sometimes they have gold legs. Sometimes, you know, if you're into gold recovery, that's cool. But so you got a lot of extruded aluminum. Maybe not a lot, but hey, it all adds up. And what else you got here? You got some ceramic capacitors here. Ceramic. I know they got some silver in them. Yeah, I'm stumbling a little bit. That's all right. That's okay. I do believe, let's see, C. Yeah, capacitor. It has a C on it, so it's a capacitor. It's ceramic. Chances are that has some silver in it. If not, that's okay. Sometimes these guys have a little gold in them. I know a lot of people say they don't, but I found them along my way. So that's the power board. You got a little bit of copper there, and I know you guys keep seeing that guy right there. I know, we're gonna come back and talk to it. We're gonna come back, I promise. So then you got the finger strip boards that are at the bottom of the screen, and yeah, that's gold all the way up there. All the way up there, it's got some chips, some MLCCs in there. You know, it looks all nice and fancy, and yeah, there's some gold in there. There's all where all the legs connect into there, and that's cool. And yeah, so there's some MLCCs, and you got all sorts of stuff, and that's pretty cool. You got stickers too. those stickers, I don't want those in my stock pot, so I scrape them off of there. Because you don't want them sitting there. They stick on your gold and whatever else, and you just don't want to deal with them. But hey, you see that connector there? That's right, that connector there was connected to this board here, which was connected to the knee bone, which was connected to the other bone. And but if you look at that connector there, that connector sure does, guys, have some gold in it. It does, and it was connected onto that finger strip board down here, right there. So you got to look at your connectors. That was only one out of this pile of wires, but hey, it was a gold connector. It's still gold. And in between those fingerboards, you have this guy right there. Yeah, you can see it. It's gold on it. It is. Ain't much, but it's gold. If you hold it up to the light, I'm sure it'll disappear, but it'll go in that stock pot just as easy. So, so gold there. We got the main board here. Yeah, I know you guys are checking that out. Yeah, if you do any kind of scrapping, you know what's underneath of there. I'm thinking there's going to be a gold corner BGA underneath of there, especially if they took the time to put this guy on there. If you guys done any of this, if you haven't yet, check it out. It's really weird. It's a thermal conductive rubber stuff, and I tell you what, you laugh, but you get a hold of this and it feels just cold in your hands and all squishy and weird. Yeah, I've seen a few scrappers play with it too, and I tell you what, it's fun. Excuse me. So anyways, I'm willing to bet, because they took care to keep that nice and cool, that underneath of this aluminum, which is extruded aluminum again, guys, underneath that aluminum, there's going to be a gold corner BGA. How much you want to bet? And look at these little BGAs, like either memory style BGAs. Some people call them flat packs. Other people call these guys flat packs. So either way, I call them little BGAs because they do have little balls of solder on them. And look, hey, you got your silver here, and you got another one there. And that's two on that board that I can see just right in the viewfinder. So those add up too. I know people will buy them. I know they're difficult to get the silver out of them, but hey, more power to you if that's what you want to do. And inside of these connectors here is going to have a little gold in them, the USBs and the ports. Sometimes these guys are gold plated, sometimes they're not. You know, it's just sometimes you win, sometimes you lose on it, but that's all right. These chips here are going to have a little gold in them, and that's cool. And yeah, what else do we got here, guys? What else are we forgetting? Oh, we got that tactile switch up here. Yeah, some of them switches look like they may actually even have some gold in them. Some of them look like they're probably just going to have silver on them. A majority of them will just have silver, but that's okay. If you're in silver recovery, hey, that's where it's at. And yeah, we were going to talk about this guy right here. This little guy right here. A lot of people pass up. I've got to get in on him here. There we go. A lot of people pass this guy up. And underneath of that little aluminum thing, which actually I will pause and we'll take that off and we'll come right back. But if you look over here, I know a lot of people see this right here. Yeah, that's worth looking at too. So hold on one second. All right, guys, here we are. This is the prize within the prize. This is the bonus after you win everything. And you get all your gold from over there. This is another little bonus. And let's get in on and let's see. All right, so if you can see right around the edge of this guy right here, that's a ceramic gold band oscillator. And yeah, that's ceramic. It's like a ceramic CPU, and it's got quite a bit of little gold inside of there. And if you get a lot of those guys, yeah, they're gonna add up. And a lot of people just pass them up. But I tell you what, anything that hooks up to the internet through Wi-Fi is gonna have one of those little guys right there. And right next to it has a little friend here. That's a little flat pack there. And but it's IC style. It has the legs on it. Each one of those legs represents a little hair of gold that's going to be inside of that guy. I'm willing to bet, especially if it's got a gold oscillator right next to it. That's guaranteed to be gold in my books. If not, like I said, just bring it on to me and I'll take it for free. There's going to MLCCs. A lot of people call them a lot of different things, but I think that's monolithic ceramic or multi-layer ceramic capacitor. Other people call it monolithic ceramic. And but I think that's multi-layer ceramic capacitor. But correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I mention it, so that then you guys can bring it up. So yeah, on that little card, on that little guy in the middle of nowhere that nobody even pays attention to, that's no bigger than that, has gold on it. And if you guys walk away from it, then I don't know what to say. You're going to ask if it's worth your time. Well, I don't know, but it definitely is worth my time, especially when you can find one of these guys. Give me 1 second. All right, so here we are. I just took my little screwdriver and I got underneath the edge of it, and you just give it a little pry. It's got a couple little studs in it, steel studs, and now you've got clean extruded aluminum. Yep, so that's nice. But look at there, that's the money right there. So that's a gold corner BGA. And if you take your screwdriver and you pry up right there, a little chisel, that whole thing pops off. But where the money is right inside this epoxy plastic here. All them little bond wires, you see all these little wires coming into it? All those little wires represent one little gold wire that leads into the center die. Now, so if you count them all up, which I'm not going to do, but I bet if you took a second and you still framed it for a minute, you can count all them lines. That's going to be all the little wires that go to the bond. And plus there's a little gold right here. And yeah, it's going to go to the die and it's going to be bonded to it. And there's a process to get that out. It's a little more, labor intensive, a little more, you have to have a little more knowledge than with these guys here, because these guys are pretty easy. In fact, we just did a whole bunch of them, and this is what we're going to keep feeding the stock pot because they are that easy and they come around that quick. And just in that amount of time, I've got this much free gold. And I tell you what, guys, they're going to go over here. They're going to get depopulated. And when I get a few of them, we're going to go and we're going to put them in that stock pot. Yeah, I know you can't see it because it's tucked away for bed for the night. But we're going to put in that stock pot over there and we're going to continue on. And like I said, I don't know when or where or how long we're going to leave it for. But you guys hit me up in them comments and let me know. And for all you new guys that stuck around this far, please don't forget to hit that button. And for my wife, I love you. And for my kids, go wash your face.